All right, let's see what the world looks like today. Welcome to Zen Club, the podcast, music, poetry, psychogeography. I thought today I would talk about creativity, creative blocks, writer's block. I'm shying away from the term writer's block because I'm thinking more generally of creativity. Yeah, for sure, specifically within the confines of the studio, at the desk, at the piano, but then also the lessons that are acquired in the practice of writing feed into sort of a broader lesson about authenticity or creativity in life. Right? So that's a pretty grand topic to start off with. But the phrase that came to mind was prompting me with this was the creative block and creative space. And I think that summarizes my experience with being blocked, not being able to write. And the way that manifests for me is just not finding the time or the space for it. It is vanishingly unlikely that if I actually utilize the time that's available, sit down, bring out a piece of paper, sit at the piano, turn on the laptop, get out a pen, pencil. If I've gotten that far, it is vanishingly unlikely that nothing will come. It's quite likely that over the course of time, whatever was written will be discarded. It will certainly be revised, revisited. It might appear in a different context. It may sit in a growing stack of paper that become kind of an archeological record. But the block is not looking at a blank piece of paper for me. The block is not showing up and not sitting down. If the space is there, then it almost feels like a vacuum that needs to be filled. And I don't know if that's different for you, for everyone. The way that I can tell that I am blocked is that I'm simply not sitting down. I'm not arriving. I'm not showing up. There's a book, I'll have to dig it out. I can't remember the title of it, but it might be called something like On Being a Writer. And it really does boil down to you commit to showing up at a certain time every day, and then you sit down and you write something. And so perhaps I'm being generous to my own definition of my own writing, is that I'm not applying any judgment about the quality of what's being written. It's the act of thinking about things in that way. It's the act of doing. For me, the physical act of writing with a pencil and paper, pen and paper, is a significant part of the writing process. It's certainly a significant part of the pleasure of writing. There's a dialogue that takes place with thoughts that I find enormously enriching. And I articulate thoughts to myself in a way when I'm writing, I mean physically writing, that I never would if I didn't provide the discipline of actually writing it down. And that connection, that experience is the reason that I write. It's probably the reason that all of us write. Because that circuit completing is like it's like nectar flowing. You know, when the daemon speaks, and I can hear it. There's a grace, maybe is the word I'm looking for. It really is a gift. Not a gift of talent, right? But a gift that is bestowed on the writer, on me, on you. And then I think that capacity is available to us in the broader space of our lives, which is why I do this podcast. I think that applying the discipline of the artist, not just to art, but to life, is a necessary part of being a complete human. So all of that is pleasurable and a reward. Difficult. Writing is hard. But where I was starting is that I actually, the physical feeling of pen on paper, of pencil on paper, is also just from a physiological sense. It just feels really good. It hits a particular sort of sense of frequency that I find really pleasurable. I'm trying to think of a good analogy, and I can't really. It's more than just scratching an itch. It's like creating the right kind of itch and then finding the right kind of scratch, all in the same gesture. So when I'm not writing, the symptom of that isn't me sort of banging my head against the wall, looking at a blank piece of paper at my desk. The symptom is me doing other things, and this is on my mind because yesterday was a free day in a lot of ways for me. My office, my workplace was closed for the day. It's a federal holiday here in the U.S., and although I ended up spending the morning doing some work, my goal had been to take the full day and practice some meditation, practice some piano playing, and then write. And I practiced the piano part. I had actually quite good breakthrough on some pieces that I'm playing because I worked on them early in the morning, which is my time. All of this creative time is so much easier for me to access when it's early in the morning. When I've woken up, when I've done some exercise and I've done my morning meditation, had some coffee, that creative space is much easier for me to access. In the evenings, I am far more inclined to avoid it because my brain it's tired, but even if I'm not tired, it's become occupied with different ways of thinking. Sleep resets, and that reset is useful. It's useful to take advantage of that. So I think the mistake I made yesterday was I knew there was some work, like office work stuff that if I did it yesterday, today, the rest of the week would be a lot less stressful for me because I would have thought some things through. And so I took that sort of precious window of fresh morning mind, and I thought I'm going to just spend a few minutes on this work stuff and get that out of the way, and then I'll have the rest of the day. And instead, I finished that, and then I thought I'll just take a bit of a nap, which I did. That's fine. It's a day off, right? Then I thought I'm going to do my next episode of the Messiaen videos. I came up here and the laptop had run out of juice. I hadn't charged it up. And because it's a MacBook, whatever, There's only one plug, which is the same plug that the power and the microphone use, so I couldn't both charge and record. And I thought, that's okay, I'll do it in the evening. Which I did. I came up after dinner, spent an hour messing around on the Messiaen, and then realized that's just not good. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying stupid things. So then by the end of the day, I hadn't done what I meant to do. But it occurred to me at any point I could have done something different. I could have made different choices. I didn't need my laptop to write, did I? Or do I? I don't. I need a piece of paper and a pencil to write. I need my laptop to record YouTube videos, but do you see what I mean? I turned away from the space that was available. The space is always there. And for me, and I'm interested to hear if this is the case for you all as well, for me, I don't need 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day. I like it when I have that opportunity, although, as you can see, it's a real discipline to use that time. For me, what I like are daily 20 to 30 minute segments. That also allows me to work on many different things, because I can find 2 or 3 20 to 30 minute segments throughout the day and apply myself to multiple parallel projects that are quite different. If I wait until I have 2 or 3 hours free, I'm never going to do anything, just the way that life unfolds. But that time, that focus time, is always available. There's always time every day. I just need to use it when it's there. So let me know what you have about writer's block. Does it look like sort of the classical tearing a hair out, blank piece of paper? Or is it more about avoidance? Or is it both? Or is it something completely different? Anyway, with that, keep your wits about you, and I'll check you in later the week.